Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am seated finally once again next to my husband, Matt.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, we took off last week and not rehearsed. This podcast leads into exactly why we took off last week.
Amen.
We were coming off the Labor Day weekend.
Uh-huh.
Multiple businesses that we had to close out the months, and I was so jam-packed with stuff that I should have been jam-packed with that we didn't have any time to record a podcast.
Amen.
That leads into what
Not
we're
amen. Boo. Boo on us.
But it leads right into what we're going to talk about today.
It does. We took Labor Day and unlabored.
Yes. So let's jump in. This week's episode came from something that I'm usually pretty good at, but I really struggle with this over the last 60 days or so. See, I started having some minor health issues. I was getting stressed out, and I just felt like I couldn't get on top of everything that I needed to get done. I was just kind of off kilter a little bit. And does anyone listening feel that way sometimes? You feel like you're off kilter, but you can't figure it out. So,
full disclosure, I didn't notice.
I felt it. So
you 100% showed up as expected.
Yeah, but I think everyone has that. And if that's you, I want you to listen really close today, because we're going to go much deeper than you probably imagine on why this happens, where you feel this way. And it's just going to be a little bit deeper than what you think. And see, I knew what was causing this, but I didn't take a deep breath and figure it out until I started clicking through stories on Facebook. You click on the little stories at the top and listen to those. And I saw a story from Bethany LaFlamme that she posted. So Bethany is
baller. She's a fucking baller.
She is a top SEC Security Exchange Commission attorney, top SEC attorney that many of us use for real estate to put our deals together. She's also a public speaker. She does all kinds of stuff. So even if you don't do real estate, I would highly encourage you to go find her and follow her on Instagram and Facebook, because she posts a lot of great stuff.
She likes to practice safe sec.
Yeah. SEC. I
was like, yep, you're my people.
Yeah. So just what Jen's talking about is we were at a real estate conference and she's talking about SEC rules, and the title of her
had nothing to do with my business, my passions, but I was like, I could vibe with you, sis.
Yeah.
I got a ton of relatable information, even if the context was slightly different.
Yeah. Her topic was, let's talk safe sec. So yeah, it was great. Well, the story she posted,
sorry, I'm just remembering the images that she used in her present. Like I did this. Check her out. She's great.
Yeah, she's a great speaker.
Great.
Yeah. But, well, the story she posted was just a simple 7-word statement. And I DM'd her right away afterwards, and I said, hey, I'm going to give you credit because we're going to write an episode for our podcast around this. So Bethany, thanks for the idea. So let's jump in. Here's what her story said. Every yes is no to something else. Every single time you agree to commit or even tolerate, you're simultaneously closing the door on another possibility. The question I want to ask everyone today is are your yeses building your future that you actually want, or are they chaining you to the past that you keep saying you want to leave behind?
That's we're gonna again, Matt said it earlier, we're gonna go pretty deep, but I want to start here. Your yes is powerful. Your no is powerful. I know we've done a whole podcast on how no is a sentence, or no is a complete sentence, right? But most people don't realize they're trading one for the other every single day, sometimes every minute of every day, right? When you say yes to snoozing the alarm, which I did not today. I woke up before my alarm. You say no to the energy and confidence that morning movement could have given you. When you say yes to another Instagram diet or whatever, You say no to learning the skills that would keep you healthy for life. And for Matt, when you say yes to overcommitting your time for everyone else, you're saying no to your own restoration, your own growth, and your own goals. Now, my love, this is not about guilt. It's about awareness. Because again, I'm sure there's some things that you could point out that I do say yes to that I should be saying no to.
We have a whole team that keeps you in check.
100%. Yeah. We talk about them all the time. Shout out to my team. Thank you for helping me say no. And thank you for understanding why I say yes. Ooh. This isn't about guilt. This is about awareness. Once you realize every yes has an echo, you start to live differently.
Yeah, and I want you to share the story that we talked about when we were getting this episode together, about you losing 85 plus pounds, because that's really going to hit with some people that are listening. However, I
don't know if everybody knows that about me. Like, I have a couple of clients who are like, yeah, right. I'm like, I mean, I'll whip out the before pictures if you want.
Well, I want you to share that story, or a brief piece of that story, but not as life-changing, but certainly valid for what was going on with me over the last 60 days, prompted this episode, because this is the heart of how deep this goes. But this is from a different angle from your story. You already hit on it. I was saying yes to everything. Yeah, I'll join that meeting. Yeah, I'll take that call. Yeah, I'll watch your presentation.
Yes, I'll start this initiative.
Yes, I'll participate in this. Yes. It was just, everything was yes.
I scolded you for that one.
And this was getting me off kilter. It was affecting my health. It was affecting everything. And no, not because I was actually too busy. That's not it. There's a lot of other people who are a lot busier than me that get a lot more done. It wasn't because I was too busy. But why don't you talk about your example that I just mentioned, and then we'll tie them together with how deep this actually goes.
Yeah. I learned this the hard way. So after Callie was born, and frankly, I had struggled with my weight fluctuations for most of from 13 on, right? But after Callie was born, mind you, this is 23 years ago, but I had about 85 pounds to lose. And I remember walking into the gym. God bless you for buying that Gold's Gym membership, as terrifying as it was. I remember walking into this gym with the girl at the front desk that wouldn't even look at me, scan my card, or say hello. I felt like the smallest fish in the biggest pond. I had no idea where to start. I spent most of my time that first few months sitting in the daycare because they were the only people that were nice to me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And you got so pissed at me.
Yep.
But back then I was saying yes to all the wrong things. I was saying yes to fear. I was saying yes to hiding in baggy clothes. I needed baggy clothes. I was pretty big, Matt. I was saying yes to the voice in my head that I wasn't cut out for the body that I had in my head, that I wasn't cut out for fitness. I was saying yes to my comfort zone instead of asking for help. And you know what those yeses were really saying no to? They were saying no to my confidence. They were saying no to my health. They were saying no to becoming the role model that I wanted to be for my little girl. And the turning point came the day I finally said yes to investing in a trainer. That one yes scared me. It stretched me. It pissed my husband off because I shouldn't be spending money.
That was a different Matt.
But that's a different Matt. We both have grown.
That was 85 pounds in 2 decades ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it humbled me. It was also a giant no to the old story that I had been living. And that yes changed everything. It was the seed of the identity shift that eventually led to me finding my own passion as a trainer myself.
Yeah. So what I'm about to say is so important. So listen closely. Everyone listen closely. This is why I was off kilter. This is why Jen's initial journey into the gym was so tough. So if you've been off kilter, and you have, or you had an initial journey into a gym that you were concerned about or scared about, listen closely. You don't actually achieve your goals through willpower alone. You achieve them by aligning your yeses and your nos with your identity. Let me say that again. You don't perform at the level of your goals. You perform at the level of your identity. Jen had goals, but she didn't have the identity. So in my example, my identity is not a fish swimming around the ocean or a squirrel scurrying around. It's a shark that is more precise and more well thought out about their health, their relationships, and their finances. But I was acting like that squirrel scurrying around. I wasn't living my real identity for that last 60 days.
Yeah. We've talked about this in the last few podcasts, but if your identity at your core, your internal belief is, I'm someone who always falls off the wagon, then every yes will unconsciously reinforce that. Yeah, you are, because you keep reinforcing it. But if you shift your identity to, I am someone who follows through. I am someone who understands that progress is not a straight line. I am someone who honors commitments to myself. And then suddenly your yeses carry a different weight, right? They reinforce strength, not sabotage. Now, Matt's example was a 60-day. Thankfully, we are forward-thinking enough to where we can we can stop pushing that boulder up the hill. But in my example, it was years of it, decades of it, right? And maybe that's where you are. And maybe you're carrying around a heavy backpack of yeses. You think you're doing things for the right reasons. Maybe you said yes to comfort food night after night. Maybe you said yes to staying small in a relationship. Maybe you said yes to putting yourself last. I want you to hear me clearly. Those yeses don't define you. They were choices that you made from the tools and the awareness that you had at the time.
Damn, that's powerful. The tools that you had at that time.
Yeah.
Meaning it can be resolved.
Like, I can look back with so much grace because I didn't know better until I knew better. And now I can do better. Ooh, slap that on a t-shirt, right? So I want to do a little exercise together. Will you participate with me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Picture that backpack. What is that backpack of yeses look like? What color is it? I want you to picture it on your back. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I just want you to imagine setting that backpack down. You don't need to carry it anymore. Those yeses are not evidence against you. They are lessons. Put them down with grace. And lessons, when you choose to integrate them, become wisdom. I want you to give yourself grace, because holding on to guilt only creates more yeses to self-sabotage. Grace frees you to make different choices today.
I can just feel the weight coming off people with that exercise.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that exercise, and it makes me a little misty-eyed because it brings up some backpacks I've had to put down. Now, we've put down the backpack. Oh, aren't we standing a little bit straighter? Now I want to step into the future together. I want you to picture yourself 6 months from now. 6 years from now. She only says yes to what aligns with her vision. Anything that goes against that vision is painful. It hurts because it's her identity now. She says yes to workouts, not because she has to, but because movement is her identity. Because the Lord blessed us with a moving body. Do you know how lucky that is in and of itself? She says yes to fueling her body, not restricting it. Food wants to help you. Food wants to help you. I just smashed some motherfucking peanut butter toast and I am jazzed because it feels awesome inside my belly. And my puppy tried to eat it. She says yes to rest without guilt. You know how hard that was for me.
Yep.
Years. Let's take a nap. Cool. And I would just lay in bed while he took a nap and I just stare at the ceiling like, isn't this great? She says yes to rest without guilt because rest is where the magic happens. She knows her worth isn't measured in exhaustion. This is not a contest to see how miserable you can make yourself. It's a contest to see how wonderful you can make yourself. Now, here's the beauty. Every one of those yeses is also a no. No to the old excuses. No to the old identity. No to the stories that kept her stuck. And that future version of you, she's not far away. He's not far away. They are simply waiting for you to practice making aligned yeses today consistently.
We just pause for a second. You are damn good at what you do.
Thank you, dear.
That was great.
Thank you.
I loved hearing that.
So I have a challenge for you this week. Before you say yes to anything, I just want you to pause. You don't need to change. Pause. What am I saying no to in this moment? Just pause and ask yourself that question. And then ask, does this align with the person I am becoming? Every yes is a no to something else. But when you start choosing your yeses with intention, your no's become powerful too.
Yeah, you're always one yes away from alignment and one no away from freedom. And when you start to layer those choices day after day after day, that's when transformation becomes inevitable for you.
Yeah. I want you to remember grace over guilt. That takes practice as well. But becoming and visualizing that new identity, visualize them looking back at you with grace as well, right? This is going to take some practice, and it's progress over perfection. It's identity over willpower. Every yes you make today is shaping the future version of you. So make it count.
I love it. Let's wrap there.
I love that.
It's a great message for today.
Perfect. I hope this hit. I hope you share it. Guys, you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. Do all the things. Share this with someone you think will have impact. And with that, we'll talk to you next time.